NBA reporter and host of the podcast Buha's Block, Jovan Buha joins us on The Story Is. Yo.
Yo.
Good to have you back. Welcome back.
It's great to see you, man.
So you cover all of the NBA, but your specialty is the Lakers. So let's start with the Lakers. The Lakers were having this unbelievable March, 15-2. And then Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves get injured in the same game. The big question now, will they, when they come back? What do we know in terms of their timetable to return?
So the Lakers are preparing to not have either one of them in their first round series against the Houston Rockets. Right now, Austin Reeves had a 4 to 6 week timetable. This was as of April 2nd, so we're a couple weeks into that. So if he returns, it would be the end of the first round, if not potentially into the second round, if the Lakers are able to advance. With Luka, they've not given an official timetable. They just said he was out for the regular season. Then he went overseas to Spain to get some treatment that maybe isn't given in
not legal
here,
in the United States.
We'll say. And then so he just came back to LA today, actually, and rejoined the team, and will be there tomorrow for game one. So with him, typically a grade 2 hamstring is about 3 to 6 weeks. So there's a chance maybe he comes back in the middle of the series, but also with hamstring strains, you got to be careful. There's several, like Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets. They've been dealing with hamstring injuries all season, on and off, and have both come back and then immediately gotten re-injured. So even if Luka is able to return by game 3 or game 4, there's no guarantee he could stay healthy.
So most everybody is picking the Houston Rockets, in part because they are healthy, or we think they're healthy. Although there was a report that Kevin Durant may be injured. Who knows if that's really true or just gamesmanship. What do the Lakers actually have to do to win?
So I think LeBron James has to be the best player in the series, and the encouraging thing was how he closed the season, because LeBron had adjusted, taken on a smaller role from a usage perspective offensively, and was more like the number 3 option. JJ Redick had talked about the offense is best when it's flowing through Luka, then Austin, then LeBron. But we saw that those last few games to close the season, LeBron put the cape back on and was averaging in the high 20s and getting 10, 12 assists and looking like vintage LeBron. So if he's able to do that and outduel Kevin Durant, who might not be healthy in this first round series, I think that's a big step in that direction. Lakers did a really good job defensively against Kevin Durant and the Rockets, forcing a lot of turnovers. So I think the combination of LeBron plus the defense is what's going to take them to at least extend the series, and then hopefully they get those guys back.
And somebody like Luke Kennard or DeAndre Ayton
Marcus
or
Smart,
Marcus Smart stepping up and having like career games.
They need.
And so they do all of that, and they get the guys back, and they somehow get into the second round. Then they most likely face the Oklahoma City Thunder. And how did it go against them this season?
They lost to them by 30 plus 3 different times. So, and honestly, I mean, that was the game that Luka and Austin both got injured.
And so they were the defending champions last year. I mean, do you think they have the best shot of anybody to defend, to win again?
I think they're a clear favorite. They won 64 games, and they were one of the least healthy contenders. If you look at Jalen Williams, who finished the playoffs as probably a top 15 guy, if you were ranking guys, he missed 49 games this season. So they just never were healthy. They always were without a starter, a couple of key bench guys. Despite that, they still were the best team, still won 64 games. So I think they should be the clear favorite, though there are a couple teams I like.
Well, let's talk about that. So also in the West, the number 2 seed is the San Antonio Spurs, who have Victor Wembanyama, who's like 7'6" or more. I don't know. I think
might be 7'7". I don't know.
You know, and he can shoot threes and dribble. He's like this unicorn, crazy player like we've never seen before. But you actually think the Denver Nuggets are the team to watch out for.
I think so. So time is a flat circle, and I entered the season thinking that Denver was the second best team in the NBA behind Oklahoma City. They finished the season on a 12-game win streak. They had a couple wins against the Spurs late. Nikola Jokic was putting up MVP-level numbers. He finished the season leading the league in rebounds and assists. And they really found something here as they started to get healthier. So Denver right now would be my pick as the number 2 team in the West. And I think they're going to make the conference finals.
And which is interesting, means that means they beat the San Antonio Spurs. In the East, you're hot on the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I think Boston is the clear favorite here, which This is going to be a tough segment for Lakers fans listening, talking about the Lakers and then now Boston potentially getting to the finals. But I think they should be the clear favorite in the East. With Jason Tatum has come back and looked great. And now you could say, like, going into the playoffs, they arguably have 2 top 10 guys in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown's going to get some MVP votes, some first-team All-NBA votes. So that combination, Joe Mazzulla is probably going to win Coach of the Year, or at least finish second. They're deep, they're talented, they win the possession game. I think Boston should be the favorite in the East.
So is it then Oklahoma City versus
I think it's
Boston?
OKC versus Boston is the most likely finals right now.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe Denver gets
Maybe
in there.
Denver.
We'll see.
I mean,
and then
they
you
took them to 7 last year.
And what you never know about the NBA playoffs, which we saw last year, injuries happen there too. And then all of a sudden, series can change really quickly, like what we just saw with the Lakers. So you never know. That's why we watch. Jovan Buha, you can check out your work on YouTube. Really great place to check it out. Check out your podcast as well. Follow you on social media for all the details and the tea all playoffs long. Thanks, Jovan. Good to see you.
Appreciate it, Alex.
She described